4 of the European Championships. 4-0 win over Andrei Shevchenko's Ukraine. Slabhead with a goal for us. Harry Kane with a goal. Who else scored? We lost count. Harry Kane got 2,
didn't he? Yeah.
Who scored?
Kane got 2.
Jordan Henderson.
Jordan Henderson with a header from the corner.
Crucial goal for him.
Amazing.
Captain's goal. Rory.
Yes.
How are you feeling?
A little bit good. Perfect. I think that is as close to a perfect performance as we've had. It was flawless for England in terms of team selection, in terms of individual performances, in terms of a team collective. I'm overjoyed because do you know what, Ad? I think this is the first time I'm even going to say this out loud. I honestly now, it's not about hope anymore. I've been dreaming that England will win this, but I truly believe that England are going to win it now. I actually think it's going to happen.
Is that scaring you now? Though?
Yeah, but trying to be completely logical as well. Like, I'm trying to look at this without, I'm not looking at it through any kind of bias or anything. I'm just looking at it strictly in terms of like the team, the way that we're playing, the way that we're now scoring goals, the way that we're so stingy at the back, the players at our disposal, the squad depth. Everything to me says England are going to win.
And today, this was a routine victory. And one thing I'd never associate with England, since I've seen them absolutely batter Holland in '96, is routine victories in big tournaments at big stages. Now you could argue it was Ukraine, but Ukraine are here. They're here for a reason. They're in the tournament still for a reason. And
do you mind
to be
if I
able
push
to
back
go
on
in
that
on that,
bit?
to play the occasion and to play it that way was amazing.
Yes. I think, do you know what, as much as I love getting carried away, I think I've got to push back on your touch on the Ukraine thing because, like, they're rubbish.
They were.
No, they're rubbish. Like, but they shouldn't be. I know they're here, but they shouldn't be here.
But so were Iceland.
They lost 2.
And that's the kind of thing growing up, you
totally.
expect England to be.
No, we should have brought Iceland up. You're right.
You expect.
But Ukraine, they lost their 2 group games. They beat North Macedonia. They got very lucky in the previous game. It was a mismatch. If you did a combined 11 of the England and the Ukraine team, it's just England. It's just
and the England bench.
And England bench. There's nobody. I mean, I don't think you can even make a case for Yarmolenko or whatever. Nobody gets in the English squad. So, with all of that in mind, it should have gone the way that it did. But when things should go in a particular direction, they don't always do it. And the fact that we managed to perform the way that the team suggested we should is huge.
To handle the expectation, which is crazy for me, because that's what you're going to have to deal with now. 2 games at Wembley, a game against Denmark, which I'm worried about, because I think they've got great players, but we should be beating them, and that will be the expectation in the game.
Tell me, what, like a few times on the show that we've done just now, the kickoff, you flagged your fear.
I've said it for a few weeks.
You flagged your
fear. Not a few weeks, a few game days.
Your fear about Denmark. You are intimidated a bit.
It's a gut feeling, yeah.
But why? I don't quite see it.
Out of the 4 teams, when I looked at Ukraine and Sweden and Denmark and Czech Republic, I looked at Denmark out of those 4 as they're the ones out of these 4 that could potentially knock us out. And when I look at the team, obviously you've got the Christian Eriksen factor and they feel like it's their destiny and it's supposed to be and all that. But I also feel there's no pressure on them because the country's behind them anyway. You could argue that's the same with England, but I do think pressure comes with England when they play. And they have a very good team. So even outside of all those things that you can't really put your finger on and you can't really, measure, they actually are a very good team.
They're a very good team with a very good manager. I think the way that he changed the Wales game was brilliant. Like he deserves man of the match for that game. But Denmark, come on.
Yeah, we should be beating.
Yeah, like look, if you look at Denmark in a group, right? They lost to Finland, which I know there's context. That was the game, right? That was the Christian Eriksen game, and I understand that football on that day became insignificant compared to everything else. But losing to Denmark in any circumstance is one of the biggest upsets in tournament football. Losing to Finland for Denmark, that's huge. They then lost to Belgium after that, which again, I'm not saying there's any shame in that, but they're a team that are now in a semi-final that have lost 2 games. England haven't conceded a goal.
Yeah, that's
what I mean?
Incredible. They haven't. And even Italy conceded, didn't they?
Yeah, conceded a couple. Austria scored against them. Belgium scored against them. So, look.
David with the super chat mentioned Harry Maguire's performance there. He says, sure, Maguire were world class today, but I don't think you need to be world class to beat Ukraine. But
No, but you can play. I think he's right.
Luke Shaw was
I think he's
great.
right.
I thought Luke Shaw was my man of the
Going
match.
forward, mate, Harry Maguire is so good. I think what's going to happen with Harry Maguire is we've discussed this with other players. You know, when you go somebody so underrated, they then become so overrated, and ultimately neither are true.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Luka Modric was so underrated and then became like the best player in the world when he wasn't. He was never terrible. Or
Everyone realizes they're underrated.
so
and
they
then-
all
yeah,
change.
yeah,
Yeah. And I think that's going to happen with Maguire. But I've always thought that Maguire is a really good player, and he is proving quite how good he is, because you've got to remember he's coming to a team where Tyrone Mings hadn't put a foot wrong. And when you brought in Maguire, some people said maybe Mings doesn't need to fall to one side. And then you look at the performances from Maguire and you're like, yeah, regardless of what Mings is doing, Maguire is fantastic, and he's typified it today with a goal, a bullet header of a goal. As a duo, we often say that Maguire is a little bit lacklustre in his goal scoring. He needs to score more goals because he wins every header. Geezer wins every single header. If you cross a Range Rover into the box, he heads it out, right? So score some goals. Today he did.
Another big one for England. He scored one in the World Cup, didn't he?
Did he score? Did he score in the Colombia game?
I don't think it was against.
No, it's
Colombia.
Stones, wasn't it?
I think it was
But
in
no,
the
he definitely
last
scored.
16 or-
But, yeah, he definitely scored.
But he definitely scored in that. And I think
Sweden.
Another big goal for him.
Yeah.
And another big performance. Harry Kane gets back in the goals. Like, that's something that I think has kind of gone under the radar in this game. Harry Kane is now scoring again. Because for most of this tournament,
Mate.
he's played poorly. He played poorly in the World Cup, I think, but he still got 7 goals. His performance was good today.
Listen,
he got man of the match
mate,
officially. I
when
don't
we-
think he was man of the match.
When
But he
we're,
officially got
when
man
we're
of the match.
talking about England potentially winning this tournament, can we just acknowledge how everything is going right? Like, look, I appreciate I'm the dope in the bucket hat, singing Three Lions, listening to New Order. I know I'm that guy. But also, let's just drill into the facts. We haven't conceded a goal. We were flying before our best player even started playing. Our best player has now found form. And you suddenly go, everything, in terms of the ingredients, what we're cooking up here, this is the perfect storm. I'm not saying it definitely happens. I'm not saying it even will happen. I hope it does. I believe it will. Things
the
can
best
change.
chance.
But it's, regardless of whether it does or doesn't, it's all coming together. It's all coming together in the way that you want it to. Harry Kane is now potentially going to get the golden boot. We were looking good to win the tournament before Harry Kane had even scored a goal.
Yeah.
You know, so it's now coming together in the most beautiful of senses.
Digumber in there was mentioning Jadon Sancho's performance today. Obviously, you're on a United channel at the minute.
Yeah, there's a lot. I did
72,
notice that.
73
It's got
million
Maguire. I'll point.
Maguire, Shaw,
Maguire.
Sancho.
Yeah, there's a bias on this channel for
Yeah,
sure.
there's just a bit of a bias. Although, to be
No,
fair,
they're right,
to
they're
them,
right, they're right points.
They all played
And I
well.
thought Sancho played well.
Yeah.
Quick feet, you know that moment with the feet,
Magic,
trickery, yeah. Like you can't quantify how, like you can't teach that. You know the way that you pass the ball from foot to foot in order to evade the challenge. This is early in the
talking
game,
about
10 minutes
Hazard
in, right?
doing that,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
The other day.
But like you know that Jadon Sancho's been doing that since he was 8. Like you can't teach that. You can either like Harry Maguire, wicked footballer, but he can't do that. He just can't do it. So look, Jadon Sancho looks fantastic. I imagine that Sancho won't start the next game. I don't think he's played himself.
I think
into-
Grealish comes in for Sancho, you know.
and I think Grealish might start. I think the fact that we didn't see Grealish today, you may finally get your wish.
What about Saka though? Because I feel like I wouldn't start him, but I feel like the manager might look
Yeah.
to start him.
I think it's one of two. It's one of those two, isn't it?
I'd get Grealish running at Højbjerg all game.
I think that happens. I don't necessarily like that happens at some point because Højbjerg gets booked, doesn't he? He gets booked, and you know once he's on a booking, it changes the way that he plays the game.
Overall though, today was absolutely great. The show was great as well. Go check out the highlights, which will be on YouTube. The full show is on twitch.tv/TrueGeordie as well. Go subscribe to Rory's channel. I think I put the link in the description.
Thank you.
But if I haven't, I'll put it in there after this. Rory, Denmark next. I am skeptical, I am nervous, I am threatened by Denmark.
Yeah, I know you
but
are, man.
I do think England will go through. I think it will be after extra time. It'll be our first trip to extra time, and we'll be going to a final. And in the first season, we've been on the kickoff together. we could see the first final of England we've ever seen.
I mean, this is historic. What England are about to achieve is historic, assuming we can get past Denmark. I think we will. I know you're a little bit more fearful of Denmark. I know you think England
One of
will
us
win.
has to be.
I know. Yeah, otherwise, the tone. Could you imagine if you were like me? The tone of this. We'd already be lifting a trophy. It'd be tops off, hats on. No, you're right. But I know you think England will win. But I just don't share your caution. I'm very confident. So, well, look, we're both in agreement that England will qualify. So let's hope we're right.
What an absolute pleasure. Boys, go check it out. Check out his channel as well. He's going to do a video in a bit. Until then, see you later. Peace. I'm still here for now. In a bit.